Do you care about what your children are being taught in schools? Do you disagree with it? Well, then you just might be a terrorist. It's like, honestly, man. The Department of Justice directs FBI to look into school board meeting outbursts. Las Vegas, for the past few months, outbursts, screaming and yelling have become commonplace at CCSD board meetings because a lot of parents are getting quite upset with the curriculum that their children are being taught. Issues like mask and vaccine mandates and discussions of race in public schools are igniting anger nationwide and causing divides to deepen. Now, a memorandum from the Attorney General is also bringing both praise and condemnation. In a letter to the President in late September, the National School Boards Association wrote education leaders felt unsafe. America's public schools and its education leaders are under an immediate threat, it read, adding they face threats to their districts, families, and personal safety. It equated some actions to domestic terrorism and hate crimes and asked federal law enforcement to review some actions under the Gun Free School Zones Act, the Patriot Act. Oh yeah, we love the Patriot Act, don't we? Yeah. In regards to domestic terrorism, the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, and more. So basically, if you go to a parent-teacher meeting and you discover that your child is being raised to feel ashamed for their skin colour and they should feel sorry for their skin colour and they're in fact an evil, horrible person for their skin colour, and because of their skin colour, it means that right now, even though they've not done anything because they're like fucking 9, right, they are an awful person just for their skin colour. And if you disagree with any of that and you voice your concerns over such things, well, then you just might be a terrorist. It's like, yeah, that's the same as, putting a bomb under a car. Fuck me. The Department of Justice responded Monday, directing the FBI and each US attorney to meet with local officials and discuss strategies for addressing these threats. Threats against public servants are not only illegal, they run counter to our nation's core values. So does your curriculum. It read, in the coming days, the department will announce a series of measures designed to address the rise in criminal conduct directed towards school personnel. The Nevada Attorney General's office confirmed to News 3 that it is aware of the memorandum. The office says it's waiting information on the next steps and look forward to working with our federal partners in any way that we can. It also sent over a statement stating, as we continue to grapple with this deadly pandemic and what it means to return to some semblance of normalcy, there has been a disturbing trend of harassment and intimidation targeting the staff at our nation's schools. School teacher and school staff are doing their vital work during an unprecedented time, and we must create an environment in which they can do so as safely as possible. Threats and harassment must not be tolerated. However, not everyone agrees with this step. In News 3's Breaking Down the Law segment, attorney Matt Hoffman with Battleborn affirms these recent behaviours are serious crimes. These are all FBI issues, these kinds of threats, he said. But questions why this specific action was taken, given investigating these crimes is already in the scope of the FBI and law enforcement. If the federal government gets involved in what is already something the FBI should be doing and something local law enforcement should be doing, to take a side, so to speak, that could be politically charged and it could send the wrong message, he said. Parents could certainly take it that way. Oh, I see, if I go exercise my First Amendment rights, I'm a domestic terrorist, and I think that's what you're already seeing to the reaction of this. Because, yes, it's because anyone that shouts out during one of these meetings, which oftentimes you have to do in order to be heard, they're going to get classed as terrorist. They're going to get put on a little list. The FBI has a lot of lists for a lot of different things. You're going to get added to it if you do that shit. Several lawmakers have already condemned the move as political, including Republican Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. I love Rand Paul. When you start to criminalise dissent, when the head of the federal government, through the president, through the Department of Justice, is saying you might be a domestic terrorist if you raise your voice, I think that's appalling and is chilling and is very, very dangerous. Yes, it absolutely is. Yet the severity of these threats is something CCSD board trustee President Linda Cavazos says she's dealt with firsthand. She says that she couldn't fully disclose all the details, citing how some are still under investigation, but shared the general sentiments of what some social media threats said. We know how to take care of you. We know where you live. I was doxxed with my personal information online, she said, adding she got pictures of people being hanged or shot or pictures of guns being sent to me. She adds that she wasn't the only board member to receive them either. That's just a quick and simple immediate IP lookup and boom, you've got the person. The police could get that guy in 5 minutes. Police could get that guy in 5 minutes. Why haven't they? She adds that she wasn't the only board member to receive them. She says she's grateful for the move. It gives a sense that we are being heard, if only the parents were, that we are here to do our jobs, which is to indoctrinate your children. She said it's something that is a very serious matter and needs to be addressed. Now, homeschooling is becoming very popular recently. Have you noticed that? Basically, a lot of people don't want to send their kids to school just so the teachers can tell them that they're a piece of shit. It's not very nice. Doesn't do good things to a kid. Doesn't do good things to a kid to bring them up and tell them that they're a piece of shit. It's not nice. It's not ethical. It's not moral. It definitely does horrible things to the child's development. If you tell them you are racist, no matter what you do, you will be racist. You were born racist, white boy, right? You can't do stuff like that. That'll fuck kids up, right? And parents are obviously taking offence to this. You know, there's been certain, I know some parents whose children have come home saying things about some of the things that they learned that day, and they were quite upset. They were very, very upset at some of the things that were said to their children, especially in one instance, it was a 7-year-old girl who was given the sex talk and was also told about various different sexual identities and various genders and stuff. She's seven, so fuck off with that shit. Fuck off with that shit. A 7-year-old does not need to know any of that shit. And the parents were quite rightly very fucking mad. Very fucking mad. And so they would like to go to places like this to voice their concerns. And basically what a lot of these places do is they go, this is the curriculum, this is what we're doing, don't like it, well then you're probably a racist too. Like that type of crap. So a lot of these parents, this is their children, parents get pretty fucking nippy when it comes to protecting their children, so they stand up and they yell, because that is the only way that these people will listen to you, because the parent-teacher things, they're a show, they're just some pantomime, just a bit of theatre to make the parents think they have any kind of say. Like, they don't. They absolutely don't. Unless they kick up enough of a fuss. If you let them know that the blowback and the protesting will be harsh, you can get the schools to change their mind. Don't do it through literal threats of violence. Do not do that, because all you're going to do is unite people against you, and it makes the school look like they're the victims, and then they get to continue telling your kids that they are a piece of shit. So basically, don't go about it in the threatening manner, but however, standing up at these parent-teacher meetings and making your voices heard and doing everything you can to get the school to change the curriculum, that is something you absolutely should continue to do, and no, you are not a terrorist for doing that.